Oh, Packers. You let me down, man. I've been calling the Broncos frauds for weeks now because I don't like their offense. Their defense is great, but I don't think their defense is great enough to carry a mediocre offense. Well, Bo Nix had a fantastic day. Throws for over 300 yards, one of his best games as a pro. Slung the rock around. It's a great Packers defense. You put up 34 points on them. You have to love that. You win at home yet again. You've won 11 straight games. You've clinched a playoff spot. The vibes are immaculate in Denver right now. So Broncos, I'll no longer call you frauds. You are now going to get the almost definitely, not guaranteed, but almost definitely just looking ahead, the benefit of having home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and that is, like I just said, you don't really lose at home, so that's a huge boost. And now you're really looking like you could make a legit run in the playoffs. And we already talked about for the Packers, it's a brutal 1-2 punch. You're first place in the division, you lose this game, the Bears win, you're no longer first place in the division. Oh, and your star pass rusher is out for the season and possibly more because of a torn ACL. Horrible day for the Packers. Now you got to try and regroup and face off against the Bears, who once again are first place in the division next week. Y'all's thoughts on this game?
I
Xander?
can lead.
Go ahead, JP.
Go ahead, JP.
It sucks. It sucks losing Micah a ton because it really takes a lot of wind out of the sails for this team. But at the same time, the Packers defense, even with Micah, hasn't been excellent the past 4 or 5 weeks compared to how they kind of were through that middle part of the season, and then especially at the beginning of the season. They have been winning games because they've been playing so well offensively, and they just couldn't get enough done offensively. So I think all the avenues, like I said earlier, are still there for Green Bay. It just becomes the next 3 weeks become really critical for them. On the Broncos side, Bo Nix, I thought, had his best game as a pro and one of the biggest games of his career as a pro. 4 touchdowns. That is now his fourth. Let me make sure I'm getting the stat right. That is his 4th career game with 4+ passing touchdowns. He joins just 2 quarterbacks ever that have recorded 4 or more games of 4+ passing touchdowns in their first 2 NFL seasons. Would you guys like to name those 2 quarterbacks?
Four
First
plus.
2 seasons in the league, not first 2 seasons starting.
First 2 seasons in the league.
Deshaun Watson.
No.
Is Mahomes on the list?
No way.
Mahomes is one of the 2.
Yeah.
He had 4 games of 4+ touchdowns in 1 year, his second year.
I mean, that was the height of that offense, man. His first couple years as a starter.
I guess. Trying to think about guys that came into dynamic offenses. I mean, what year, Jared?
I'll give you a hint.
Go ahead.
Miami Dolphins.
It's not. Is it
it
Tua?
Tua?
No, it's
Okay.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Okay.
Dang. That would have been my pivot. Hey,
No, it is not Tua.
Tua came in slinging that thing, man.
Yeah, I guess. Is that all of them? You said there were 3 others?
That's the 2.
There's
Okay,
He joined
3
those
total.
3. Both of them have had more than that. It might be their first 2 years as a starter. The stat that I'm reading doesn't exactly specify, so it might be first 2 years as a starter. Because I don't think I would. Maybe I don't remember, but Mahomes throwing 5 or more. Because both of those quarterbacks had more. But Bo joins Elite Company there, and he had a really, really incredible game. His passing chart was really, really good too. It's not like he wasn't throwing the ball down the field. He was 3 for 5 on completions, 20 yards down the field, which to do that, your offensive line has to handle the pass rush and give Bo enough time. So credit to their offensive line there. He wasn't just completing balls outside the numbers. In fact, he completes 6 passes inside the numbers. So it wasn't like he was just throwing it out to the sideline. He's throwing the ball over the middle of the field. They're using all parts of the field. The only thing they really don't got going for them is they don't really have the consistent run game. And yeah, RJ Harvey had a fine day, but like you hope for with his speed, maybe an explosive run, a 20-yard run. But his longest carry of the game was 8, and I'm honestly shocked it was even that high. I don't really remember many carries longer than 5 yards in this game. It was look, it's good to gain 3 or 4 yards, but you want some more explosiveness there.
Yeah, there was none.
Offensively. But Denver's doing what they have to do, and they are fully in line to be the 1 seed going into. They could have, in fact, I honestly think they'll have the 1 seed locked up before they play in Week 18, and meaning they could rest their starters if they wanted to. I wouldn't, because that's 2 weeks off with your starters not playing, but they could. They very well could, because they host Jacksonville this week. I think they're only a 3-point favorite in that game, but I like them a lot in that game. Spoiler alert for Thursday. And then they will play the Gardner Minshew Chiefs in Arrowhead, which now that game's a lot less scary. So they could be handing your Chargers a free win in Week 18, Sanders. So look forward to that.
We'll see.
Although they might have the playoffs locked up before then.
We'll see.
They continue to do what they need to do, because with that defense, with their home field advantage in Denver, which they continue to win at home, getting the first round bye is maximizing their opportunity to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2 games, both games at home. You have to like your chances. In fact, I think you have to love your chances.
Exactly what I was about to say.
To make the Super Bowl. If they had finished as the 2 seed, and they have to go like even to New England in the AFC Championship, if they had to go on the road, I don't like it as much. So they're doing what they have to do. And Bo Nix had one of his best games against that Packers defense. They're able to turn over a red-hot Jordan Love. So maybe you have to take them out of that fraud watch at this point. Spoiler alert to my segment later in the show.
Yeah, they definitely gain a ton of respect for me. And I've already touched it. You've already touched it. I just want to reiterate. I think the home field advantage is it's massive for any team, but especially this team, and it being mile high, and with that defense, you have to love it. If you're a Broncos fan, is a great way to put it, JP. You don't just have to like it; you have to love that fact. It's hard to win 11 straight games in the NFL, no matter who you're playing. I guess you just don't do that as frauds, so that's why I'll no longer call you frauds. It is what it is. I wish I still could. I enjoyed it while it lasted.
Bo Nix kind of Bryce Young'd you, because JP talked, about Bryce Young not having 200 passing yards, and then he had that one game, 400? He had 400?
Like 398.
Yeah, so he kind of Bryce Young'd you, Jack. After all of you calling the offense fraudulent, he goes out and throws for 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. So
yeah, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. It was a great game, and he is a competitor. I just still, when the lights are brightest, it's the biggest moments. I don't know if he's the guy I want back there, as competitive as he is, as much of a gamer as he is. I just think he has a liability to miss some throws and make some bad reads still, as a guy with not tons of experience. And I'm going to be honest, also slightly biased. I've disliked him ever since his first collegiate game where he beat Oregon on the worst game-winning throw of all time, and the announcers glazed it for 5 minutes.